Welcome to 2014. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday season. No matter what you celebrate, we don't discriminate. So I hope everything worked well for you. And I hope you had a fantastic new year. I thought I might share with you the Christmas present I bought for myself today. This is the brand new Stampede 4x4 XL5. This is new for 2014. Well, it's new for 2014. I'm calling it because Traxxas released this a full 5 minutes before Christmas hit. So, I mean, it was out for like a week before Christmas. So probably not a lot of people were able to pick one of these up, or maybe some of you didn't even realize that they actually made this model. But I thought today we might take a quick look at this. This is my new machine. I'm going to have, I think, a lot of fun with this car. And we need to take a look at the differences between this XL5 model and the VXL that we have come to know and love for the past 3 years. I think that one's been out now. Anyway, let's take a close look at this new Traxxas Stampede 4x4 XL5. Okay, so this is the Stampede 4x4 XL5. Let's check out this truck. Now, I've already taken the liberty of unboxing this, unpackaging everything, just because, I mean, the cellophane they wrap these cars in is noisy when you cut it open. Take a look, Stampede 4x4 XL5 edition. Pretty nice outfit. Let's go over what they give you in the box. You get a basic toolkit. This has the multi-wrench in that. That's about the only thing I use out of that. You also get additional body clips, the body washers, and an additional battery strap. Now this is a little bit taller design. I'm thinking for some of the thicker LiPo batteries that are out there. So that's nice they've included that. You also get the shock parts that have additional tension clips and pistons, etc. Typical of Traxxas. You get the charger included with this. This is a basic wall charger. This takes about a decade to charge the battery, so most of us don't use this, but they do include that. Basic instruction manuals and a decal sheet to go along with it. The remote is the typical Traxxas TQ 2-channel. This is the 2.4. This is their newer style. This has been out for, approximately a year now. So they've included that as well. I mean, it's a decent remote. It's got a decent feel. It's not as cheap as a lot of the remotes that are included with some of the ready-to-run vehicles, and that's a nice thing. All right, brings us to the belly of the beast here. Fantastic looking vehicle. I do like the looks of the Stampedes. These are great machines. As a lot of you know, the Stampede 4x4 VXL has been around for, 3 years? There's nothing new here apart from some small changes, but those of you who are familiar with a Stampede 4x4 is going to know this vehicle very, very well. The majority of the stuff, suspension, chassis, driveline, is all shared with the VXL edition. Let's get these out of here. They include your typical hump style 7-cell Traxxas power cell. This is a 3000 milliamp battery. I'm guessing average run times in the neighborhood of 15 minutes. Depends on where you're running and how hard you're pushing this truck. But I think overall you'll probably see about 15-minute run times out of this battery. Suspension and drivetrain are all basically the same as the current Stampede 4x4. Shares a lot of parts with the Slash 4x4. Suspension arms, drive lines, the shocks themselves, the bumper, Body mounts, shock towers, chassis, all of that is pretty much the same as the current Stampede. The shock protectors, front and rear, a nice feature. I'm glad they left those on. I know their goal for this truck was to, reduce the cost. They wanted to be a little more cost conscientious with this vehicle. And they've reduced some things, but they did leave these, and I was happy to see that. The shocks are the typical Traxxas gray. I think they call these their Ultra Shock. You've got a mono rate spring. Suspension actually feels really good. Very soft. I don't know that it might be borderline too soft for some people, but very nice. It's got a nice feel. Now the differences. What makes this different from the VXL edition? Well, some obvious differences. Let's get the battery out of the way. First of all, tires. Take a look at those. Those are T-Max inspired tread design. The old chevron tread, directional V style. In fact, they even say Max on the sidewall. That should give it very good traction in some of the sloppy terrain, mud, crud, what have you. That's pretty cool. I like seeing these. Apart from the typical tread design for the Stampedes, both two-wheel drive and the 4x4, were the, I don't remember what they call it, Alias maybe? But the Revo tread design. So that's a definite difference there. Tires. The next difference, obviously, we've got an XL5 speed control. This is equipped with the LiPo cutoff. Those of you who don't know, Traxxas has been including a LiPo cutoff now in their XL5 for a better part of a year anyway. And then the Titan 12-turn motor. Now, one of the key differences not seen here in this driveline, well, there's two actually. There are one you can't see, which is the gearing, and one you can barely see if I move the truck. The center drive shaft in there is actually plastic on this model. Similar to the Telluride, it's the same drive shaft. Those of you who might be looking for upgrading to brushless with this truck over the next while, you might want to be looking at that drive shaft, upgrading that to the aluminum model. The other difference you can't see is actually how this is geared. Compared to the VXL edition, this truck has the same spur gear, 54 tooth, 32 pitch. The pinion gear is a 9 tooth on this model. So they've geared this one as low as they could. And the reason for that, it's essentially to keep that motor alive. That's basically the reason for doing that. We're turning a lot of mass here, heavier truck, bigger tires, four-wheel drive, more drivetrain drag, and gearing that down is an attempt to keep this motor among the living. So right now I don't foresee a big problem with that. It's in the middle of winter time and it's freaking cold outside. So running this around in the snow and slush that we've got, I don't really foresee any problems with the motor, at least not until summer. So next change that they've done to try and cheapen this model down a little bit, they have gone to solid camber links. The non-adjustable, similar to what you find on the XL5 Rustlers and two-wheel drive Stampede, they have gone to that on this model, front and rear. Now that's not necessarily, it's not a huge concern for me, but I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of problems with breakages or not. Probably not. If we do have some issues, you can always upgrade that to the same links that they put on the VXL. The other difference here, no wheelie bar. They've got the mount, but no wheelie bar protection. It doesn't need it, frankly. I mean, this truck is not going to have enough power to do that, okay? So it's not anything we need to worry about. When you go brushless, if you go brushless, you might want to consider getting that piece if you think you need it. But this model, I don't really think is gonna pull too many wheelies, so not too worried about that. Now, the next thing that is different that I thought was pretty critical is the front steering tie rods. You'll notice those are pretty thin. Those are the typical 3mm tie rods here. And that, you know, is a potential area that could bend or break, especially if you run into a few obstacles. That will be something I'd probably be addressing pretty soon. I was a little disappointed seeing that. I mean, what, the Traxxas probably saved themselves $1 on that downgrade. But other than that, I'm pretty enthused with this truck. Everything else is similar. Bulkheads, differentials, the push bar, the steering bell cranks, all pretty much standard Stampede 4x4. One last difference that I've noticed, this is the first Traxxas I have ever seen, that they include these foam pads already stuck to the body mount. Now I've been doing that for years to all my, especially the Traxxas vehicles, to reduce body rattling noise. This is the first one I've ever seen they've actually done that from the factory. So that's a very nice addition. It keeps that body on there far more snug, so you don't have that really weird rattling noise that you get with that. So that's pretty much it for that. Well, I hope you found that informative. I hope it answers some of the questions that you may have had between, or you know, regarding what the differences were between the two Stampede 4x4s. This may or may not work for your wants and needs. I personally am looking forward to getting out and running this thing. I think it's going to be a pretty fun vehicle, at least for what I want to do. I think it's going to be a great winter machine. So anyway, until next time, guys, thanks for watching and happy motoring.